Thank you very much, Tom. I, for one, hope that Fnatic pushes it to the limit. Not just further, but all the way to the edge. As we'll, we're all hoping for Game 5 out of this one.
For sure. I'd love a Game 5. It'd just be like repeat of finals to the extent of EU versus NA once again, you know, because realistically, if it don't push it all the way, it's going to be a bit of a problem for that one.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think that, well, it's obviously a must-win game for Fnatic, but it's also definitely a morale victory for them. I mean, they need not only just a win, but they need a resounding win, I feel like, to come into it. Yeah, EU needs it.
EU really need this.
We don't want an all-NA finals, do we?
EU's just not happy with how Worlds went down. I mean, the team, the Fnatic team, used to be SK at Worlds. They weren't happy with the performance there at Worlds. Titan did well for us in the final, but it wasn't the Titan we used to see time and time again. Twitter exploded at Worlds about how EU should have done better. This time round, though, this is our opportunity to go against NA again and show them we have something. At the moment, though, NA are just coming up trumps every time.
Right, and I believe in Fnatic, right? They lost game 1 pretty badly, and then they went backstage outside and they talked about a plan of how they can win game 2. They came up with the comp to get the early gold Furies, get them out of the early game. And I expect more of the same in game 5.
Maybe
game
just
4.
a little bit of hubris there, is thinking, you know, we won that last game, we've got our game plan, we can make them play our game. Let's pick Naja.
Yeah.
Right? You know, maybe just a little too confident.
I think it was they wanted to keep the jankiness, so to speak, keep going, because they did it in game 2 and it worked. You know, they ran Guan Yu and like.
Keep TSM off balance,
right?
Yeah,
keep them off balance. So Nija, okay, we'll build this one out. So what are they going to do? And they went Nija Janus, you know, and there's something again. What are they going to do this time round is going to be very interesting to see. I expect a backup ban from TSM though.
Well, let's take a look as the picks of bans are started, and you were right, TSM will ban out Bakasura. Athena this time removed by Fnatic. Circuit also, so they are going to go back to respecting.
Okay, so if TSM are first pick here, do they first pick Gab?
TSM will first pick...
Fnatic first pick Gab, just to make sure that, okay, you know, you can't have Athena, and you can't have Gab.
Oh no, you just have to play Sylvanas.
Badger didn't really have that good of a Geb game last. I think they might stay away from it this game.
I think you're absolutely right. So now with the first pick in their ball court, ball court, when you play
Knives
hoop ball, you play it on the ball court.
You do need
it's Fnatic with the first pick here. Are they going to go back to Bay? I mean, are they going to take this Bellona? What's their...
I don't know if they go for Bay. I'm not...
Can't stop the Bay.
Honestly, like I said, this tournament is all about Bellona. And from my aspect for EU side as well, Bellona is very important to see whether or not she can survive in the competitive atmosphere.
Honestly, I'm a little bit impressed at how these two teams don't value the Xbalanque pick. Right? It has one of the best disengage and engage ultimates in the game.
I think that's... A lot has to do with Reels is so heavily favoring Rom.
True.
That TSM will just take it away from him here, force him into the Anhur, and take the late game.
I think a lot of people are saying that Rama generally has the best overall matchups against all the different hunters as well. I think I've heard that thrown around a little bit, that Rama doesn't really have a negative matchup.
I really do want to see a Xbalanque pick here from Fnatic, because Gars loves those all-in initiations with the Thor dunk and the Hunbot's ultis, and once he does that, Xbalanque can all...
That's what they should be drafting here.
That's 3 warriors.
I think you got it right on the nose. Yeah.
That's 3 warriors.
I heard warriors were good, but bots, I mean, where has bots been here so far? I mean, it's been the highest priority pick in North America this entire split, and
he's big over in the EU too, because Thor gets banned away.
Yeah.
We don't really value Bastet over in the EU as strong as in North America. So Bastet is something that I've not seen out of North America that much this tournament either.
Madness here. That's going to be a Poseidon drafted before the Thor for Team SoloMid, thinking that, well, there's really no real way that Fnatic can fit another melee physical damage dealer into their lineup. So
I see Fnatic probably going to take a shot at Devios here. They could look for a jungler ban away against Degars, and I would expect them to maybe go for Degars or Devios in this, obviously, because
what are they going to put zeros on that's going to deal damage, right? His Raw was not sufficient. Poseidon they've taken away from him, not that he played it very well anyway.
I want him to bring out Coco.
Yeah, Cuckoo, I like that.
Zero's Coco Con is very, very strong in this mid lane. Very good matchup against Poseidon as well, and people don't realize how strong the matchup is.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think that's a great kind of idea as well, considering that they have the triple warriors, right? Extended engagement is going to go their way, and Kukulkan does very well.
Right. I honestly didn't think his Janus was that bad. I thought he played really well towards the end of the game, landing a lot of portals and a lot of his twos. I mean, we'll see.
He was fine once he kind of got comfortable maybe a little bit more with the Janus. We saw the drop on that first engagement at the mid Harpies, but he hasn't really been that kind of big magical semi-carry burster through the mid game that we're expecting out of the mid laner so far. But there it is. It's the that fourth position Thor picked up by TSM.
Yeah, Degars going to be taking that one away, but Xbalanque, as you were saying, Tab, you know, he's been taken away.
Gars must be so happy that he could pick Thor fourth. That is unreal.
He's like, we don't care about it. He's used to it.
Yeah.
This is the thing about the respect between EU and NA. I mean, there's a certain type of respect because you hear these big names get said, right? So everyone recognizes the big names. Cyclone Spin, you know, Zalia. They're the big ones. Snoopy, not so much. you know, and he slips under the radar. Reels gets spotted all the time,
right?
And he's recognized by a lot of North Americans as the best player in the EU, or that's what some North American pro players say.
Right, I think so, definitely.
And with those comments going out, you skip past some of these people that you just wouldn't recognize normally.
Snoopy just needs to dive a couple of towers, and I'm sure he'll
get to your level.
Yeah,
if only he could dive towers.
He'll get
with
to
the
a
best
challenger level of play.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. So it's on her to round out the Janus, Hercules, Guan, Bellona comp. I gotta tell you, I don't know how in favor I would be if I was Fnatic of drafting 4 physical damage dealers, considering that Divios has built Mystical Mail every single game.
You don't really build Mystical Mail on a tier, though. It's not a normal item that you would pick up on tier.
But Divios?
But Divios might. But at the same time, what if those 3 warriors all pick up Mystical Mail themselves?
Well, then we'll have rewinded 3 years and be back in like kind of the original competitive Smite meta where everyone just built Mystical Mail.
Right.
The good old days.
Yeah, those were days. I don't know how good they were. They were certainly old, and they certainly were days.
Oh, the Angel has switched sides this time round. You can see Divios on the bottom right-hand corner, the left-hand side. Maniac, the Dark
Fnatic
Demon.
really is going to have to rely on zeros here. They drafted 4 physical. Of course, TSM is going to itemize against that, and it's up to zeros to really land those crucial unstable vortexes.
Yes. It's a lot on the back of zeros. It's 4 physical damage dealers and just the Janus. Granted, he can burst just fine, but Brandon just walked over the desk and told me he was sitting up next to the players, and Divios was just screaming, "This is the best day of my life," as they drafted their 4th physical damage dealer. So I think we may see the Mystical Mail coming out this time.
More than likely. I mean, honestly, with the composition, though, he still goes to what Fnatic's strength is, which is play around reels, set up for the team fights. And these team fights are going on so extended. I think that's why they went to Hercules themselves this time around, because you saw the 4v1 from Divios last game, and eventually the guards turned up to that one. And I think they're looking to realize that TSM like extended team fights just like we do. Let's out-sustain them. We'll take Guan with conviction to heal ourselves up. Sylvanas is off the table. We'll take Hercules to sustain and continue in the fights. And then we've got Bellona, which will disarm everybody as well.
Right. I think what we're going to look for here from Fnatic is they picked a very early game team comp, right? I want to see a lot of plays coming out from Fnatic.
Well, let's get this one underway, ladies and gentlemen. It's 2-1 in favor of Team SoloMid in a best of 5. They can seal the deal here and move on to the finals, where they will match up against AFK, shutting Europe out of the finals. Or will Fnatic battle back and keep it in their court for now? Introducing the teams. It's Fnatic in the blue trunks on the bottom side of your minimap and the left side of your spectator UI. It's Maniac on the lower Oka, Hercules in the solo lane. Captain Twig in the jungle again as Bellona. Zeros in your mid lane as Janus. Badger and Reels will be taking to the field as Guan Yu and Anhur in the dual lane. Their opponents in this contest are TSM. They're wearing the red trunks, fighting on the top side of the minimap and the right side of your spectator UI. It's Divios as Tier in the solo lane. Dagars on his patented Thorgar's jungle. The Boosh in the mid lane as Poseidon, and that leaves Ionic and Snoopy as Geb and Ram.
Are they going to invade?
Invade every game, did you know?
TSM is going to invade against the Bellona Hercules. Oh, that Travis was so close to tower range.
Well, that should be all she wrote. No one really going to be able to continue engaging here. The driving strike taking him a bit out of range, and, well, heavy hammer on Hercules there. He couldn't keep the chain slow down.
If that hit tower range then, that was dead on Divios. It was so close, just touching.
Well, as we thought it might be, it looks like it's going to be a Mystical Mail rush out of young Divios.
He's just started this every single time so far. Steel Mail, actually it's a lie, but the Sun Wukong game he started Bluestone when he realized he was against the Sobek, but still that didn't work out for him. That's the only game they've dropped when he's not built Steel Mail.
So if TSM wins this game or ends up winning the series, I mean, it's just setting up for just a really epic showdown of Cyclone versus Divios, where Divios is saying, here is my build, this is the one I do, right? And Cyclone probably just going to, you know, he's going to...
I played Alquang, so we build physical protection.
I mean, he's going to pick Nox and probably win and be like, oh yeah, it turns out Mystical Mail doesn't matter when I'm Nox, or whatever craziness that Cyclone has in up his sleeves, or whomever wins this one.
So this lane matchup as well of the Fnatic, the duo lane here, we're going to see Guan Yu and the Anhur up against Rama Geb. We saw this sort of similar matchup last time when we saw this Guan on the tables up, and going to go the same way, obviously, sustained push.
Right, sustained push. They will outpush the Geb and Rama. I'd really like to see Guan spend more time in the duo lane, because him and Anhur have a lot of kill potential, especially on that Geb.
So you just be looking to focus down the Geb, like up to level 5, even including after level 5 as well.
Yeah, they definitely can burst down the Geb. I really want them to snowball Reels this match.
And you can see they actually look at this aggression. You're calling it already, Zaman, with that. The aggression that came out there, but was strong.
Poke was just right on there. He ends up getting a little bit of clear as well out of his Impale. He continues to deal damage to Ionic. There's knockups he's going to eat. Badger trying to play forward here. They want to make the play. Is the pillar... Oh, Reels. He was so close there. Pillar on...
I don't know if he was he actually trying to hit the Geb jacket, or was he actually trying to knock Snoopy into the wall?
I think he was trying to go for the Geb there, but
Yeah, I think he's happy with the damage that he dealt to the Hunter nonetheless, though.
As long as it hits somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Hit those autos. It's the hardest thing to do.
Well, we're approaching 2 minutes here, about a minute before we're going to see those mid Harpies pop up, and well, expect the rotations coming out of these Guardians relatively shortly here. We'll see how Fnatic elects to play this one with their Guan Yu.
I think they might actually rotate Reels around to these mid-Harpy fight as well. We've seen TSM do this countless times every single time, looking for the mid-Harpy fight at the beginning. This push power that they get, though, from Fnatic, they could look to do that themselves.
Right, I would really like to see Reels rotate. He has a lot of kill potential as Anhur with that big bursting ultimate.
Yeah, I love to see the play out of TSM here. They're shoving the waves up with the Poseidon and Thor, and this will give them great positioning going into the mid camps, making sure they maintain lane control in the mid lane here, where Bellona and Janus don't have necessarily quite as good a clear until maybe level 7.
Well, mid laners both level 5 there. Captain Twig a little bit ahead in experience yet. Degaz is still only level 4. Twig already hit 5 in this lane. Phyllis
Oh, this is a lot of damage.
Menek could be dead here. He should be okay because he's not level 5. If he was level 5, that would have been a law bring it instantly.
Yeah, but still, he's going to have a pretty big lane position advantage. Yeah, as you see, Maniac going to fall back to base. So that helps Divios bridge the small XP gap there was. It's the Kraken coming out on top of Twig. He's maybe bit off more than he can chew. Force you the ultimate over the wall. The backside of the hammer hits. If the front side had hit as well, that would have spelled certain doom. Not sure who grabbed those mid Harpies there. We can assume that the Kraken probably secured them.
Yeah, I think so. I love the play from Degaz there. He threw out the hammer, hoped he was going to hit him as he jumps over, get the double tap, the instant kill. Unfortunately, we don't get to see first blood there. Teleport was picked up by Maniac, though. Not surprising to see him that good impale coming out from Reels there over in the dual lane, the trade between the two. The funny thing is we're seeing two actual switches in role here. We're seeing Reels' Anhur up against Snoopy's Rama, and we're also seeing Maniac's Hercules up against Devios' Tia.
Right.
These guys were all played last game on the other team.
Yeah, we'll see who is truly the master of their individual roles. Divios certainly getting the better of the matchup so far. But he has invested into the teleport, where Hercules has as well, actually. But it's a rank 2 for the Hercules already, and he's a little bit behind in terms of lane control gold, but we'll have that cooldown available to him about a minute before Divios.
This kind of helps that because Maniac's gone for teleport early and Divios wanted to, he's not going to have that blink. So those blink initiation with Fearlesses is not going to be available as much. Going to have to rely on the Lawbringer or the rest of his team to set up.
Right, and he also got teleport too because he knows Divios is poking him out heavily here, so he needs it up as much as possible so he can back.
More often, right?
More often, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're going to see it. Gars, he's going to look for the first blood here. He's going to force out the leap, and it leaps right away from the crash that it comes in. Nicely played there by Real, spotting that one out.
Yeah, wall coverage was around that Golf Fury there, so just give it nice little vision. No over panic from the dual lane of Fnatic there. As you can see, like, Twig was actually, just chilling in mid lane. He didn't even bother with the rotation there. He knew his boys were safe. Just farmed it up for the most part. Build-wise, though, in the mid lane, you can see Janus has finished those cooldown boots already. Probably going for the Chronos pendant relatively soon as well for that max cooldown once again.
Yeah, this is, well, you see the very limited strength of Janus in the early levels to clear camps. I don't know why I let Cuba Fred play it as it's the jungler in my game, but I did nonetheless, and I stand by my decision.
Stand by your decision for the timing. Captain Twig, though, in the jungle is Bellona. Like, we've been discussing Bellona the whole time because she's one of the newer gods that's been able to be played competitively. Personally, Damon, how do you feel about this god?
I think she's very strong, but I don't like her in the jungle role personally. I really think she needs Heavy Hammer to really just be that aggressive, in-your-face style god.
Continue chasing consistently over and over again. I think the EU's taking it a different way, though, because they don't feel like the early game in the solo, she's very, very strong. Defense is enough, but when they chase in the mid lane, it looks like we may see a quick pick up onto Zeros through space and time, saving his life again. Twig turning the damage back onto Boosh here, but that Whirlpool will spell a disengage from Twig.
The end of the initiation there. Nearly going down there was Zeros, just off the mark with the center of the Kraken.
And that's why Janus is such a good pick against
you called
Poseidon,
that the very first time we saw him. The Lassus likes it because he can just ult out.
He just ult out of the Kraken.
Can always shing out.
Well, if in doubt, shink out. And talking about that right now, the Golf Fury has been started here.
Oh, that's
great
a big pin on the
that should be out of the game. But in the sky is Thor right now, I believe, at the same time as Rama, sorry. I don't know why I said Thor was. He was in the sky. I called it right. As Badger takes a kill to Poseidon. Reels goes down in trade, though. The Hunter off the table. And Snoopy on the backside might look to get in on this fight now.
Boosh was also run down to the back of that one. Gars, he's going to be chain slowed out now, and down he will fall. So it ends up being a 3-for-1 exchange in favor of Fnatic, and they'll take the mid camp so they come back up the second time.
They win a small engagement there, a little bit of a golden experience lead based off it. I mean, it's mainly experience lead based off that one, but they don't get the Golf Fury, which is what they were really looking for.
Right, but at least they take advantage of their early game. They get a couple of kills. Maybe in a couple minutes they can go for the gold again.
And obviously, we discussed this last game of Anhur versus Rama. Anhur's early mid game is stronger than Rama, and with with Reels getting that kill, it kind of keeps him stronger than Rama a little bit longer.
As Anhur, you really want to look for those in the jungle engages where you can use your impel to stun and guarantee your ultimate ticks.
Well, with how it stands now and as we're looking at things, we can see Bouchard along the way. Medjai's boots online for himself as well. Heavy Hammer has been picked up in the jungle by this Bellona, played by Captain Twig. He did pick it last game, but he picked it like third or fourth. I think it was like 4 or 5 last time round.
Right. Yeah, and it was turned all the way into the Frostbound Hammer here as we are 7 minutes into this one, ladies and gentlemen, 3-1 in favor of Fnatic. If you're just joining us at the desk, I am Bart, joined by Hinduman and Zapman as well here for the call in this best of 5. Winner of this will go on to the finals, where they'll be facing off against AFK Gaming, who took down Trig in 3 straight earlier today.
I'm actually disappointed by how that went for the Trig boys. Unfortunately for them, they flew out here. They were very confident going into it, but honestly, AFK were underrated by everybody apart from themselves.
Myself included. Scott Gandhi as well, always on the AFK train.
He was always on the AFK train, indeed.
But he's on a lot of trains, to be fair.
He never gets off a train. He just makes sure he jumps on multiple ones just to make sure he's safe.
That's right.
So he doesn't explode on Reddit again.
It's like the Divius train. Okay, cool. Also the Cyclone Spin train.
Yeah, it lets you be all the trains. You can't pick one. I'll just pick them all.
But Divius has been very impressive so far in this tournament. We were kind of wondering, he was trending down. His play hasn't been necessarily up to the factor, the dominance that we'd seen in the past. But here, once again, he's really factoring into it in a big way and keeping TSM relevant, especially in that last game where the Hercules play, that 4v2, I mean, really just shines as kind of his impact on the game, just such a cerebral player.
But he's not playing Guardians anymore. I mean, all season he's just played Guardians. What's he played this time round? Let's be honest, he's played Warriors again.
Warriors, yeah.
He's not gone back to
first item mystical male warriors aren't that far from the Guardian.
The problem is, though, is I'm actually upset by Devios because he knows a lot of people watch him playing, and now we're going to have to deal with mystical male in every damn game.
Well, the good news is we can just pick Bakasura because it won't get banned out against us.
Oh, the dream.
Right?
The dream.
That's the one thing, is that they've been banning out Bakasura, which really makes a lot of room, right? It's smart. Maybe it's less about Maniac and more about what they're trying to do to Devios, but the trap is sprung. In a lot of trouble now is TSM, but Janus did counter initiate nicely. Didn't look like that Guan Yu ultimate really had the effect they wanted out of it. Up in the air now is Thor. He's going to find them and put down the damage you can, trying to bail out Boosh, but Boosh cleaned up once again, and now it's Gars nearly dead. Will the last shot hit from Ram? No, they put him all out, and he actually goes the last shot there onto Reels. The Extra Snoopy.
Yannick there with that pillar as well. Moves the shield on. His shield's on cooldown now, and the boys of Fnatic can actually continue to sieges for the Gold Fury here. Yannick's having to base.
Yeah, they're going to try to, but Snoopy, very, very full HP. Divius as well, perfectly happy taking extended fight around an objective now with that Mystical Mail online. So forced back is Fnatic, unable to capitalize too much off of that last kill. Real's going to leech a bit of HP.
So just forced to reset again. I mean, that whole engagement there, you could see Fnatic waiting around the corner there, looking for the pick. It didn't look like it went very well for them, Zapman, but they turned it again and managed to pick up Boosh.
Right, yeah, that's what they're doing. They're trying to wait around a corner, get vision control in that corner, and pick someone off so they could do the Gold Fury, right? But they're using too much and taking too much damage that after they get the kill, they can't do the objective. So I don't think they're doing enough in the early game to justify this team comp.
Well, if you're a fan of more Smite, keep rooting for Fnatic here as they're up 4 kills to 1. The gold lead, a little bit over 1,000 gold, about 1,300 it looks like here. And they are down 1 game to 2 here in this best of 5. So looking to draw it even and go to kind of that final game in this best of 5 series is Fnatic. But they got to make their way through the mid game here, and really maybe even the late game, the most dangerous position in this game for them, as they're going to be staring down the barrel of a Snoopy. But Zapman, what do you think is really the advantage here in the late game for either team?
Well, the one thing that strikes out to me is the Rama pick, right? Yep. Rama's much better than Anhur in the late game. They also have a Guardian where Fnatic, they have 2 warriors, or actually 3 warriors, right? So they don't have a lot of crowd control. Yeah, this big warrior comp screams mid-game, and here they're doing quite a good job of it in the mid-game of harassing Gars out and not really allowing TSM to get any momentum. Gars, I think much to their surprise, comes back into the Gold Fury. They still do pick it up.
The risk
eventually does go down there.
Was not worth the reward for that, and now Yannick on the backside is going to get hit by the Czech cavalry charge. He should be able to disengage, though. Well, that was really brave of him to Gars.
Well, I mean, I think he was hoping that Yannick was just a couple steps closer, was going to be able to blink in and hog that one away.
On the left-hand side, there's still an engagement going on in the jungle there between the 2 of them as well. As we can see, Maniac actually rotated around here with the teleport. They should be able to find the Yannick here, I don't think, but maybe with Twig on board, they might.
Maniac's also pissed on the Mystical Mail, but here's Boosh. He's going to be able to hold them out with a Whirlpool if he wants to, but the disarm comes through. No more tridents for him. Right,
and this is exactly what Fnatic needs to do, right? Keep forcing the fights with their early game advantage. Get the objectives. Now what I really want them to see is ward their buffs and try to contest as many buffs as possible.
Well, I mean, the Gold Fury does go down to the side of Fnatic, but because of the rotation from Maniac there, Devios wisely stayed in lane. He couldn't, well, not by wisely, he couldn't rotate because he didn't have teleport. He would have had to run over the length of the map. Instead, he chooses to open up this map, take down that tier 1.
Also, let's see how this adjustment from Maniac goes, right? I mean, he's also gone for the Mystical Mail this time, so if can't beat him, join him kind of mentality out of the Hercules. Divio's continually trying to recall, finally makes it out of there as Maniac just a split second off in his harassment timing.
So it's just pretty much going to be the standard. This is what the worst thing you're going to see is, like,
honestly,
if you can't beat him, join him.
Right, and that's honestly such a Divio's thing to do right there, right?
Yeah.
He backed, Maniac stopped him twice, and he still backed in the same spot, you know?
Like mind games.
Yeah.
Just like, whatever.
That's
okay.
such a Divio's thing.
The bravado.
It's not like we're losing anything by me not backing just yet. Like, I'm a full health of bonus.
Yeah, worst thing that happens is I have to sit here and slowly tick down another wave with my Mystical Mail.
So Igval online as well for Captain Twig on this Bellona in the jungle as well. A little bit more effective this time around though. 1-0 and 4 been involved in all of the kills for the team. It doesn't seem to like scream to me that it's carrying though. It doesn't seem like it's having the same. I always want to say it's having the same impact as a Hombat or, you know, a Circuit from the jungle, so to speak.
Right, I would say right now he's doing his job, right?
Yeah.
His team secured a gold for you. They have a 5-1 lead.
But as the game goes on, I mean, Bellona very, very effective in the late game too. When she hits full build, she can potentially do what, you know, a 4v5v1 because she's unkillable.
Right, her job is going to be to take out that Rama, right? Don't let him do damage to anyone else.
Just stick to his face, disarm him, then shield bash him to death and keep the shield up, blocking the shots.
Exactly.
Then disarm again. And by that point, the team should have cleaned up.
Honestly, as a late game AD carry, when I fight a Bellona, it's always block, 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 block. Where's she getting all these blocks from?
Left side mid camp was taken by Fnatic. Right side to come back up shortly here. TSM is in position. We may see a fight breaking out. No, they're going to be secured easily, and Fnatic's going to back off and look to farm up their orange buff as it comes back up and safely farm. Continue their advantage here. It's not too large. 4,000 gold, about 2,000 experience to their credit as well at the 13-minute mark. It doesn't feel like enough to compensate for the Rom necessarily. His late game power, you know, you want to be up by maybe 5 to 10k gold by the 20-minute mark to really feel comfortable. But so far, I want to say Zeros has been an impressive amount of play out of him. He's really rallied pretty well after about 3 games of not really so great performance from him. He's held his own this time around.
I mean, he's low in the damage chart again, though, this game is Zeros. I mean, obviously with Unstable Vortex, you should be hitting something there, but he's getting a lot of focus from the boys of TSM as well. They're trying to take him out because of his mobility, and in doing so, he's spending a lot of the time running around.
His positioning has been fairly good.
That's important.
He's been there for the mid-camp fights. He's been allowing the team access. He's been bailing them out with his ultimate as well. We haven't seen that same frenetic pace, though, where he's trying to chase down that Poseidon as he rotates through. Reels and Co. hunting for a kill, but they're not going to find that Geb, trying to catch him, but they do see that he's going back. Gold Fury not available for another minute and a half. Not much they can make off of this one.
The way this game is stalling out, though, is really bad for Fnatic, right? I really wanted to see them pressure those buffs. They tried to do that on the purple, but they were a little late.
But like you said, late game, like you've liked the side of TSM, but it's only really run with the hyper carry there. Honestly, let's be honest. I mean, the Kraken, but Kraken does the same old, same old. Got an engagement in the jungle. Here's Thor goes down the backside. You can see the Eagles rally coming out from Captain Twig there. Not going to find it. He was taken to the sky with Thor in the air. He's going to go back in.
No, he's gonna run away. The ward being exposed there by Divios, actually electing to teleport to the counter ward, not the other ward there, and so they're gonna actually get a free sentry ward. But he is gonna have a nice angle here. Snoopy in a bit of trouble. He's trying to extend this engagement as long as he can. Here comes Boosh. They're going to try to deal with Badger frontline. From the backside, it's Anhur. It's real. Divios does find him, forces out the leap as well. Rom, third shot, does not hit. And in the meantime, Yannick will go down to Badger, but Zeros finds Snoopy. Snoopy returns with a kill on the Badger as the tower does the rest of the dirty work there. Divios has been sliced up.
Here
comes the rest of the team. Janus doing a lot of damage as the Unstable Vortex rips through. Boosh finds the kill, but so does Maniac in this one so far. It's a 2 for 3. Gonna be a 2 for 4 as Divios falls through the world. Takes the burst damage, he comes down, disarm, walk down as well. The Mystical Mail going to take him down as a double for Maniac, and they're not done just yet as Boosh is in a lot of trouble as well. He has no more mana left. He just has his movement speed. Maniac, can he get back in the range? He cannot. They'll take the tier 1 as a consolation prize, maybe a Gold Fury as well, as it's a 4 for 2 trade.
Gold Fury is a bit of a risk here because the Yannick has just respawned, as has the Boosh. Sorry, the Boosh will be coming back to base as well, so a bit of a rough one there. Good team fight though for Fnatic overall. There's that man.
Right. As soon as the Thor came in, he died instantly. Hercules hit a diving strike. Giannis hit his.
That was all comms though. That was all comms. It was just new to go on him immediately. Make sure he bursted straight out.
Right.
Yeah, speaking of comms, let's slide along with Fnatic here. So they're going to try to secure this next Gold Fury as it comes in. It's 1 so far in favor of Fnatic. Can they get the second? Let's listen in.
They have a ward on Gab. Actually,
yeah,
Gab
zeros. You want like to get
fucking,
you want to get
Rama
Aegis evenly.
Rama,
let's
get this point. Left trap is up. Left trap is up.
Okay, I'm coming to left top.
Come.
Let me talk to Zeros, dude. Zeros, you wanna get like Aegis so I get Evelyn?
They're doing it.
You can get it. I'll probably. Okay, whatever. Yeah, you can get it. I won't get Heavenly yet anyway.
I'm behind. I'm behind.
Careful. Yeah, guys.
Fight.
I'm not there.
Okay.
I have to pin 10. I have to pin 10.
Gonna clear
Just wait,
There's four here.
Just wait. Just wait.
Mid,
Wait,
there's a
don't
wave
fight.
in mid. There's a wave in mid. Yeah.
I have to pin 4. I have to pin 4. Yeah, to use you now. To use you now.
Okay, I'm coming left jungle then. Do you want to just start? Yeah.
We're just baiting. We're just baiting. Yeah, where's Gap? We can maybe do this.
Yeah, we can burst.
Someone go.
Some gap. Someone Gap.
I got him.
We got it. Fight. Looking Gap. I'm ulting.
Got him.
Rama ulted. I can heal you.
Quick. I need something. I need help.
Heal you. I'm gonna slow.
Twig behind us.
Never mind.
Come behind us. Come.
No, I'm gonna get him.
I heal. There you go.
I'm on
Kill
Twig.
two.
Nice. Come Twig, this way.
Look Rama, no ulti.
Yeah, I'm coming round.
Just take mid tower, push mid.
He's going this way. He's going there.
I don't have hog. Don't do fire.
No, I can't. The guards is there. Careful.
You don't want to do fire. I don't have hog.
Push me coming after you, right?
There's three
You do it so easy.
I
You
don't
do
have
it so
hog.
easy.
Wait,
Just own them. Hercules, just own them. Let's do fire. Hercules,
I'm
just own
backing,
them.
dude. I've got no. Come on,
No,
I'll die to lava, dude. No, this is a throw. The only way we can lose from here.
All right.
Right, let's get ready. Ward it up. They might be
Ward it up, yeah.
going there right now. So.
No, they're not.
Gar's taking to the sky here, looking for anything to get back onto this one. He's just going to find Maniac, and that's a big, bad Hercules and a bit of a waste of
That is
ultimate.
not a good line to come out of Captain Twig's mouth at the end of that.
The only way we can lose this is a throw.
It's a throw. And now,
I
if
love
they
Reels.
throw this now, that's going to be hell. Twitter will explode.
You
The
hear
Reddit
Reels.
too.
All right.
Cloud9 EU 2.0. Here we go.
Cloud9. No throw, boys. No throw.
So 12-3 now in favour of Fnatic. After that great little goal theory call there from the boys of that, Reels actually got peeled for quite effectively towards the end. He was in a lot of trouble though for a long period.
Right, they weren't sure if TSM really knew that they were doing Gold Fury, and as soon as they figured that Geb was too far away to even contest, they said commit to the Gold Fury, and there you go.
And then straight afterwards, the engage into the composition. A little bit split with TSM.
Actually, I love how decisive that call was, right? As soon as they did the Gold Fury, they said fight, instead of saying, oh, can we fight?
And that was different than the earlier listening that we heard where they were like, Reels was screaming for fight, and the team were like, can I blink in now?
Too many asking questions.
Yeah, not less asking, more just doing.
Well, Divios, he's found himself amidst 3 members now of Fnatic and try to bail out. There's a 4th, however, closing the distance as well. It looks like they're going to lose. Divios here, that's a big kill. I mean, this could very well turn into the Fire Giant for Fnatic. They're going to use the
map as well. Reels is going crazy
Reels going
up against Snoopy.
Snoopy in a lot of trouble. He's dodging the best he can. He dodges away. Desert Fury used. Snoopy dodging it. One more in hand's going to do it for Reels, and he'll secure it. That's a big kill. He should take the tier 2 here as the rest of the fight's breaking out on the right side of the map. All Fnatic has to do is keep them engaged. As they mentioned, a throw is the only thing maybe that's going to lose it for them now. In comes Thor. He's spinning around, but he's just not doing enough damage with that shell active as well. Sundown is the guards. 1 or 2 more shots is going to do it. Get shield, not enough. Down he will go to Maniac. Anhur is going to rotate over, in fact, not take that tier 1 to the left side.
Zero's got a little bit caught out of position there, Boosh.
And Boosh letting him know about it. Letting him know about it.
What are you doing? Who do you think you are? That's situation. Zero's made a small mistake there. Left-hand side, though, we did see that Reels did get that solo rotate over to the mid side as well now. Sorry, to the mid lane to deal with that. Badges here with his boys. Only Zero's dead. They're not looking for the Fire Giant here, though, for the time being. It looks like they're looking to pressure mid with Eonic still being alive. They didn't manage to kill him there.
I would have preferred to see Reels stay in that duo lane and take the tier 2.
Completely agree.
Zap, what do you think on that one?
Right, I mean, they knew where everyone else was, right? The only reason not to stay there is if you think people are incoming to, do that. But they just lost a team fight in middle, so Reels had a safe,
Do you think the Fire Giant was what he probably called in the rotation or something like that? Was the only reason he would leave.
Yeah, try to get another pick, take the tier 2 mid.
Could be, yeah. Could be a team call.
So it's 15-4 now on the boys of Fnatic. Might be taking us into the 5th and final game if they can keep this up, or unless Twig's comments come back to haunt him, and they do have a turnaround.
I really want to see Fnatic go for the Fire Giant, right? They really need to close this game out soon.
Look at old Zeros. He's gone for the Null build. When was the last time you saw the Chronos?
Book of Tough. Book of Tough is such a great
the Max CDR Book of Tough
on Janus.
Well, guys, we're going to take another listen in on the comms here from Fnatic as they attempt to siege just tier 2.
I've ulted. I'm coming in. I can hit it. Fight. Gap. Fuck Gap. Fuck him.
Got him.
Fuck tier. Go. FG after.
Nice.
Take tower.
Nice.
Let's go.
Free FG.
I'll start it.
Let's go. Tank it appropriately.
Gold after it.
No. We push. They're dead. We push. I got it. Push right, push right.
Maybe catch Rama right. Maybe catch Rama right. Maybe catch Rama right. No,
Nah, he's not going to get caught.
He's not gonna push though. Go right, go right, go
Check,
right.
check front, dude. Come on.
Go right, go right, go right.
You could have fucking stopped him, man. Yeah.
Go right.
Tank it, tank it,
I'll
tank
just
it.
fucking tank it.
I think they wanted to kill Geb in that last engagement here. As Fnatic and Team SoloMid, Fire Giant now theirs. And we are rocking and rolling here.
I think they did want to kill Geb, but on the right-hand side, though, as we tune in with them now, with that Fire Giant online and available to them as well, we're going to see them looking to siege up this Phoenix. And with this many tanky peoples out, though, it's going to be very difficult
this
to
might be a
chip
little
away.
too greedy from Fnatic. They haven't backed it with all their gold.
Well, we'll see if they can secure this one as they're going to make their way into the Phoenix. Chipping away at it is Reels. He does have the credit of that Bellona ultimate as well to give him a bit additional stats. Captain Twig getting very, very low now. Barely bails out.
Oh, he got coined up with that title surge, just enough to bring him down. But meanwhile, though, Devios getting chipped away up by this mystical male of Maniac.
Yeah, Maniac realizes how much damage he's taken from that Titan. Decides better over than to chase down that kill. And I think you may have been right on the money there, Zapman. Not enough Octane to make it all the way into the base there. Need to go back and spend this gold. 1,300 gold plus on 4 members of Fnatic.
I mean, they do get the Phoenix out of that as well. The Phoenix was very, very important for them to be able to go back now and then still have the Fire Giant up.
Yeah, that's true. They only lost 1 member, for the Phoenix. That's a pretty good trade.
It's also Fire Giant side Phoenix, though, so the least valuable of the Phoenixes for what it's worth, but a Phoenix nonetheless.
So with this available to them now, they still go back to base for the most part. It looks like they want the Gold Fury as well here, or continuing another fight if somebody goes overly aggressive. They're still having to wait for Captain Twig to respawn after that engagement. But talk about the engagement just before the Fire Giant there. I mean, we saw them dive under the tower for Geb here. As they look for the Gold Fury for a second, looks like it's just going to be
Yeah, they forced the reset. Now they can take this for free. Unlikely team that TSM is going to be able to, regather on this one here. Only Bellona not in this fight at this point now, and well, she's on her way.
Right, TSM's thought process there was that, hey, they just took a Phoenix, they probably back, maybe we can sneak in this gold for you and get that little win.
And I think that's one of the reasons why we may have actually seen Fnatic's hang around there as well, as because they thought they might go for that gold for you. They didn't want to give it up for free, just in case it gave them, you don't want to give them hope.
Exactly.
Game pause out here by Snoopy. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back into it as soon as possible. You can see the admins scurrying around in the back of those player cams trying to assess the problem and get it back into game as soon as possible. But this one is...
I think the pause is because Devios is 0-4. He's like, excuse me, there seems to be something wrong with the game. He bought Mystical Male. How is he 0-4? Can we have this corrected, please?
Looks like Dan, their hi-rez Dan, our lovely admin, is over Gar's computer at the moment. The Garza's computer, if you will. And here we're taking a look at Fnatic, firmly in control of this game. From left to right, it's Reels, Badger, Zeros, Captain Twig, and Maniac.
They were very confident in the last fight as well. You could hear them quite happy with their achievement. They knew exactly what they were going to do there, Zapman, as well. Fire Giant and then continue pushing because they're all dead. They didn't say, let's go straight back to base. They were like, let's keep going for this engagement. Is that generally what you will hear on Eager's comms as well? Would you be like, yeah, we got the objective, can we do more? Or would you just go home?
Right, that's actually something you want to talk about before you get the objective, right? You're doing Fire Giant, hey, what are we going to do next? So everyone knows what you're doing. You have a plan. And you execute it.
Execute as best as you can on the circle. Obviously, guys, you can see there's a little bit of a pause here. This is 2-1 of the moment on the side of TSM, but Fnatic looking very close to closing this one out with that Fire Giant online now, as well as 1 Phoenix down. They've set themselves up into a good spot, but with these 4 warrior, this full 4 warrior tanky setup to an extent, 4 physicals, it's a good situation to be in for, for TSM,
right.
if they can keep it
That's
going.
what Fnatic had to do with this team comp, right? It was ticking time bomb. If it went too late, TSM would have itemized enough where those 4 tanky characters or the 4 physical characters wouldn't do as much damage as they normally would.
And a Titan's Bane on that Rama later game with full crit build, it could have really just caused issues to just shred through them. For the time being, though, it looks like it's going to take a little while because the cup they're all playing for here. This would be a nice thing for, like I said, for Europe to actually get themselves back into this one, Bob, because since Worlds, we've not been respected at all.
I respect you.
Oh.
I respect the European scene. Although, they've seen a bit deficient so far here, but Fnatic keeping pace for pace and blow for blow with Team SoloMid.
Indeed. So, as we currently sat here waiting to see if the issue is resolved, we can see the look of the players' faces once again. Obviously, AFK already won through today, beating out the favourites. The number 1 seed, actually, from Trig, from EU. Right. Second seeded AFK, very underrated for the most part. I mean, honestly, EU didn't really expect them to be as strong as they were. AFK internally, though, they didn't actually scrim coming into this for this last week. Either.
Right, I'm surprised they did so well, actually. It seems like the 2 seeds from NA and EU came out to play in this LAN.
I think that's a scary thing to see as well, is that the number 1 seed, this is kind of, I say rinse repeat for EU, because at Worlds, our number 1 seed dropped down early. Our 2nd seed was the one that brought us up there, and once again we're in the same boat where our number 1 seed dropped down early, and now it's up to our 2nd seed once again. Across the way though, North America, I mean, TSM number 1 seed still in this one, still up technically, even though this game's looking more than likely to go best of 5.
It seems very Fnatic oriented, this one. Up 18 kills to I think 5 before that last engagement. They've taken the Gold Furies, Fire Giant as well, to their credit. They have that Phoenix down, the weakened Phoenix now on that right side, and Fnatic they have all the tools it takes to win this one. We saw them barely just stall out right in that last push that did break the base, barely enough to finish it off, and now with their brand new items and an unpaused game, we'll see if they can take this one down.
Back to it once again, 18-5 on the score at 23.5 minutes into this one. Firejan is still up for the boys of Fnatic as we follow back into the action.
Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. It's 23, nearly 24 minutes in. It's 18-5 in favor of Fnatic. 58,000 gold. They just have crossed that threshold. Nearly 47,000 for Team SoloMid. That's an 11,000 gold lead if you're following along at home. Fire Giant buff still remains on Zeros, Badger, and Reels on the side of Fnatic for about another minute and a half.
17,000 experience lead.
That's a big lead
for Fnatic. But when we check it in, like 24 minutes in, I mean, realistically, Degaz is level 16, Devios level 16 to Minix level 20 here. Boosh in the mid lane level 17 to Zeros is level 19. Badger up against Ionic, level 14 versus 17.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's without the level 20s across the board, they're feeling the entire brunt of that experience gap.
Right, exactly. And, you know, honestly, that obviously dwindles as everyone else reaches level 20. But right now, as you can see, not everyone on Fnatic is level 20. So
there's still a little bit of hope for them in that one for TSM anyway. I mean, eventually, if they can hold down whether they storm, I don't think Fnatic will want that to happen.
Well, we're going to find out here, aren't we, Hindu Man? As 5 members of Fnatic come charging forward, their minions going down quickly to Poseidon, trying to make his way into the back line are the frontliners of Maniac and Badger. Thor's up in the air, but can he find the right initiation? Ionic's going to get plucked back. They're going to be able to kill off the Geb here as the crits come through. Who cares about your passive, Geb? We still will crit you. Boulder coming through, going to hit a 2nd time on the backside. Badger going in deep as well. Will he be able to chase down? Yes, he will. Divios in a lot of trouble. Rama and Victor comes crashing through, still alive somehow as a tier trying to make his way out, but not enough. Captain Twig surging forward yet again in the sword stance. Surrender vote started. It's 3 members down, gonna be a 4 soon. Titan under duress, and Fnatic will force game number 5.
Guan Yu, boys. I'm going to call out Guan Yu on this one.
Yeah, again, Guan Yu.
Guan Yu, both times we played Guan Yu, both times it's worked out for them and been very effective.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Guan Yu ban instead of a Bakasura ban.
Oh,
you reckon?
my stars.
Oh, but then you leave. But then what if they just pick Bakasura?
I don't know.
Be interested.
I don't know. I mean, they have relied on the Bakasura ban. I mean, through and through. Maybe we'll see Guan Yu and Baka ban and leave open another high priority pick, Bellona again. Well, you know, it's kind of like Fnatic keeps on getting Bellona. It keeps on working for them, although in the first game they won, Twig wasn't necessarily that impressive, but in this one, he definitely made it happen for himself.
Yeah, Twig played it a lot better off. The heavy hammer was very, very strong for him, but he picked it up a little bit earlier this time as well, and he felt like he was involved in those fights a little bit more. I feel like he didn't get as many kills for himself, but he definitely set up a lot of potential for his team to do things.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll take a look at First Blood here, and in chat, I want to see you give me your Geb spams, as we did get a chance to listen into that play from Fnatic. But here we go. This is your First Blood, ladies and gentlemen, and it was just a trap sprung. I think twice they actually caught out Team SoloMid trying to make their way through that gap and sprung the tree. Sprung the trap. There we go.
But like you said, Zatman, when you're playing this Anhur as well, you're looking for these early rotations if you can make them happen, and look for the impels in the jungle for the early pickups.
Right, you really want to look for the engages in the jungle where Anhur's very strong. And also, you know, Fnatic took the lead and never gave it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that does it from the desk for game number 4. We'll be going into the 5th and final game for the day in just a few moments. But until then, let's toss it over for Jeff Hindla and FDOT at the analyst desk. Take it away, boys.
Thanks again, Bart. We're here back at the analyst desk here in Alpharetta, Georgia at hi-rez Studios. So it's going to a game 5, Jeff.
It's going to game 5, FDOT.
I'm honestly really excited. I tweeted this out. I just have to mention the entire time. This game was won mentally a long time ago. The entire time you just hear Maniac screaming, "Come on, Divios! Come on, Boosh!" as he just punishes them.
It's true. If TSM wants to win it, they got to get loud.
Yeah, I mean, it was you could see it on the player cam. Maniac screaming, and then Divios, just the entire Team SoloMid, just the life sucked out of their faces, and not just the life, but also the map control. 3 Gold Furies this time around, going the way of Fnatic. This entire series, there has been no splits. Whoever gets a Gold Fury seems to get them all.
A lot of games go that way.
Yeah, it's all about just like the dominance in that section. Mid camps 71% going the way of Fnatic as well.
That's rough. That's a lot of XP.
Was that a portion of their composition, or was that just their dominance in that game?
They started strong, and so far, you know, the mid camp snowballed it after they got the first set, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it was a team effort, but definitely led by Maniac, as we said, really bringing the noise as far as just the actual screams and actual shouts. Maniac really leading the charge. He's going to take player of the game as well. The plays on Hercules, really no surprise here. This is definitely a character that Maniac is known for.
He played fantastic on this god, and we saw a little bit of Omega in him.
I love that you mentioned that. Yeah, I mean, I wonder if it's going to wind up on the highlight play, because what we saw a lot of the times out of Maniac's Herc was his team would push on the tier 1, and Maniac with his 509 KDA would walk around to the tier 2 and just taunt. It was, I mean, like I said, this game was won both physically and mentally.
Yup.
Really,
you gotta love seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, that's to me one of the more exciting parts of Smite, because Smite has gone it's gone the next level where you can dodge the attacks, and now we're taking it even further with just the mental game of Maniac just really trying to do it and taking it home with the BM.
BM Maniac.
You know, one of the things that I really did like about that was Team SoloMid weren't completely out of it. As I said, we saw a look on the faces of a couple of the players, but Boosh. Later on in the game, Boosh came through. He got a kill on his own Phoenix, and he taunted back.
Boosh was loving it.
Yeah.
Boosh really wanted that kill.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be one of the harder things. I mean, as a player for Cloud9, you've got to be in that situation before where the other team has the upper hand and the upper mental hand. How do you mentally stay in that game? Because that's got to be so difficult.
So you know how Fnatic was screaming and being that loud?
Yeah.
You have to be the same, and it's so much harder to do that from behind, but you have to be.
Yeah, I mean, Divios was very confident going into this one. He said, "This is the best day of my life" during picks and bans as he rounded out to the 5th pick. I don't think he's feeling that same way as we go into Game 5.
Most Warriors love seeing 4 solo. Most Warriors don't like being 0-4.
It's going to be a tough one. Game 5, winner takes all and goes to the grand finals here at the Spring Fling Finals. Let's bring it back to the casters and get to Game 5.